Welcome to your new program. This video is meant to make sure that you get off to the best start possible and you know exactly what to do. So I'm going to go ahead and outline everything that we have here to help you to prepare and succeed on the TOEFL, because that's really what we're all about, and I know that's why you're here. So the first thing that I want to say is that all of the information that I have presented in this program has come through generations of evolution. So this is actually our third, or you can consider kind of our fourth edition, so you're really getting the cream of the crop, the best of the best here. So the first thing that I want to say is make sure that you read through all the information we have presented. I know sometimes you can look at text and it can be, I just want to get to the good stuff. I want to get to the videos, I want to get to the practice, but to be honest, all that's going to do is either keep your score the same or improve it maybe very, very little. It is within these details that you're going to learn all the little tricks, all the little tips that are going to make sure that you're more confident, more prepared to succeed, and you do exactly what's necessary to really do well on the exam. So when you go through this system, one of the things that I want you to recognize is that we have the 4 sections here on the left. So this is how you navigate. And we have, of course, the reading, the listening, the speaking, and the writing. Now when you study the reading, you're going to see that you can click on this reading link to get an overview, and when you put your mouse over it, you see all the sections that we have. The first thing we have is a practice, which is going to introduce you to how to take the exam and timing and all the concepts and all the things that usually trip students up. So make sure that this is the first thing that you do. First you click on the reading to read the overview of it, get a firm idea. Even if you've taken the test before or you already have some experience, refresh your memory. Review and practice are the mother of mastery, and that's really what you're looking for to do well on the TOEFL. So after you finish the practice, then you have a review. So that's where we go over the answers. That's where we have our intense videos for most of these sections, and we really teach you the power to succeed. Now here's something additional that really isn't something that you see very often in most programs, and that's actually an improvement section, and that's in every section of our system. And this is incredibly important, because one of the things that I did when I started teaching was, of course, I just presented the material, the practice, and the strategies, but students would still struggle. So of course we have reviews and tutoring sessions that developed. During those tutoring sessions, the key to the success of the tutoring, the reason why you see these success stories from students who do tutor, is the basis of not only getting live feedback about what you're doing, but really these exercises. So this is what you want to make sure to read carefully with. Now I know that if you have this program, you probably have a limited time, but at the same time you want to do your best to dedicate your hours to the improvement section, and you will highlight different things. The next thing is the strategy here. So sometimes, I organize it in a way that I believe is the most beneficial. So I really don't want you to bounce around. I want you to go through it step by step, have faith in the program, and know that it works. Now for the listening section, we have the same thing. You see that we have strategy first, so we changed it a little bit: practice, review, improve, and transcripts. So this is all on purpose, so make sure that you follow the order. Now we have the all-important speaking, which is what a lot of us have trouble with, well, along with other sections sometimes. So again, it's incredibly important to take your time through this, and again, the improvement section is critical. We have powerful stuff in each of these, really the things that are going to make the difference between getting a similar score, maybe a little bit better, and making a huge jump. And the writing section is the same, so let me go ahead and show you that, where we have practice, review, improvement, 180 example questions, and transcripts. So this video is meant to show you exactly how to study. So the next thing that I want to bring up is, let's say you actually start to study the reading section. So let's go ahead and click on practice, right? So what you're going to see is we actually have some material for us to go through, and there is quite a bit. So I'm going to scroll down. So again, you want to read through all of this. So I'm going to breeze all the way down so you see that we have the practice material and the questions and all the good stuff to help you to really do well. Now when you go through this, one of the key things that I want you to understand is exactly how to study. So I'm going to give you a few tips. So the first tip that I'm going to give you, I'm actually going to put in a little software program. So I'm going to bring that up so that we take notes and you know exactly what to do. With our notepad here, what I want to do is now outline exactly how we want to study. So the first thing that I want to point out, I'm going to bring this in here. The first point that we want to focus on is that whenever you study, you want to spend about 2 hours studying each section. And the reason for this is from what I've noticed. Over the years, I've noticed that students who study sections for about 1 hour a day, and that's basically all they do, basically it's not enough to contribute to enough improvement. You're not going to have the time to review in depth enough, consistently enough, to really start to develop stronger strategies. You will improve, of course, but not as fast as I've seen here. I don't recommend studying any one section more than 2 hours, because I find that that usually contributes to burnout. If you guys can study 8 hours a day, then 2 hours on each section. And if you can study 12 hours a day, then 2 hours on each section and then keep alternating. But don't study any one section 4 hours straight. That's my feedback from my years of experience on what really are the habits that help students improve as quickly as possible. The next thing that's really important that a lot of us, and even I sometimes when I work, fall victim to this. Essentially what I want to make very clear is that most studies show that you need a break every 45 to 55 minutes. And the reason for that is not what you might usually think. It's not so much that your brain needs time to distance itself from what you're doing. In a sense, it's just that your brain operates well with whatever it does in the first part and the last part. So this is actually rooted in science. So for example, many times researchers go to students to do tests on the memory and how easily students remember different concepts and things like that, of that nature. So one of the things that they've done as an experiment is that they gave students lists of words, about 15 words or so, right? And they give them a list. And they're words that the students don't know. Usually they're high school students or middle school students. And they give them about 2 to 3 minutes to do this exercise. Try to memorize every single word in the list of 15. So what happens is that after this exercise, what they do is they give them a little quiz. And what they find is that students remember the words from the first part of the list and the last part of the list frequently, and the words in the middle of the list less frequently. So what does that mean? That proved essentially from that kind of experimentation that your brain basically recognizes the beginning and the end of the work that you do more than anything else. So if you take more consistent breaks, you create more beginnings and ends, and that's going to maximize intelligently your study time. So all these little things do contribute to a difference, and it's also good to take a break. Just make sure it's just about 5 to 15 minutes, not too much more. Now the next thing that I want to do is actually highlight what I consider one of the most important factors of the attitude that you have while you study. You want to make sure that you have focus, energy, and patience. And the reason why I say that is a lot of times the things that you learn that really improve your score are detailed. They're not really general. Sometimes they are. Sometimes you learn a big concept, changes your score dramatically. But oftentimes it's those little things that you remember, that you apply, that start to make an impact. So you need that focus to actually see those details. The next thing is energy. So that's something we all want, right? But what I mean by that is you want to study with some enthusiasm. So I know that the TOEFL may not be the funnest thing in the world, but view it as an opportunity to improve, or at least a challenge. Put some energy and effort behind what you do, the way that you write, the way that you speak, the way that you read. It's going to make a tremendous impact with what you actually do when you study, and as a result increase your score. The last thing I want to make sure that you understand is patience. Our goal is the same as yours, to have you improve as quickly as humanly possible. And that's why we've taken so much time to actually explain exactly what we think is the best for you to maximize every second of your time, because I know you guys are busy. But you still have to have patience for your progress. You have to understand that building listening comprehension and reading comprehension and good speaking habits and good writing habits take time. You'll do the exercises that will help you to improve, as you've already learned in our improvement sections, but you need patience to see the actual product. So for those of you who have this system, you're probably looking to improve as quickly as possible. But patience is still, a few days. Sometimes it's a few weeks for some of us, but allow yourself the time to improve. And the last thing that I want to mention is a couple of the things that we have available to you guys more specifically with the program. So we have an FAQ, which stands for Frequently Asked Questions, and that's actually, I'm going to move this over here in our Contact Us page. So that's where we have the common study questions that you guys ask, and also technical difficulties that you guys ask about, things like that. So make sure when you have trouble to click here on Contact Us and browse through the questions, because a lot of times your answers are there and instantaneous. The next thing that I want to talk about is that we have what I believe I just mentioned, which was common study questions. So a lot of times students have some questions about how exactly one question is attacked, some clarification on some points that were discussed in the system. And that's, again, that section when you click on Contact Us, you'll see a menu. So click on common study questions not only when you have your own, but just when you want to study a little bit more, because other students' questions can sometimes be very beneficial for our own progress. So something cool to check out, and something to show you that we really do answer and care for our emails and the contact that we get from you, because these common study questions are questions that were asked by students to us about improving, and that's really what creates enhancements in the program. The next thing is you guys are starting out in actually the most fundamental program, which is great. But a lot of times students, when they study and they take the exam, they realize that they need a little bit more practice. Sometimes they need a greater degree of intensity of work so that they can really make the big improvements they want. So if you're looking to improve 20 or 30 points, likely you're going to want to, over time, improve the program, enhance the program, get some interaction. So just to quickly outline how we upgrade, we try to make it as easy as possible because our focus, so I'm going to take this away for now so you can pause it, take notes on it. Our focus is really to give you everything that you need to succeed, to be your partner from point A to point B. Point B being the score that you want, the success that you want. So whenever you guys want to upgrade, maybe try a new program, go to the Order Now section, register for the program. And once you have, let us know. Send us an email saying, hello, this is, and explain who you are and what program you had and what program you registered for. So when you upgrade from the 1 day to the 3 week or the 3 practice test program, what we do is we issue a refund for the original program. And that way you always just invest the difference, nothing more. Because we want it to be a guide. We want nothing to stop you. So we want you to just start with what you feel comfortable with, and if you need more, it's absolutely easy to upgrade. When you do register for that extra product or that next system to help you improve, then what you're going to be able to do is within your account, you're going to have both programs. So you're never going to lose anything. So that's our explanation of how to get the most out of NoteFull. And number one, this video was meant to make it easy for you. But if you do have trouble or difficulties, I and every one of us here are here to help. That's our complete focus and dedication. So consider us your partners in success. So don't hesitate to contact us. But good luck with your studies. I hope that this video gave you a strong and enthusiastic start because you're part of a great program. So again, good luck.